Hello listeners, and welcome to another week on Chasm Converses. This week my guest is Brisbane-raised singer-songwriter Lucinda Poy, based and joining me from Perth. She tells me about her move from Brisbane to Perth to study at the well-renowned Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts, or WAAPA, performing at Fringe and at the GABBA in Brisbane, to writing and releasing her first single, Just Fine, that has built to an incredible reception. We also talk about hospitality and cheeseburgers. What a tangent. So join us and let's get conversing. Chasm Converses. Lucinda Poy, welcome to Chasm Converses.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
So cool to have you here. Whereabouts are you joining me from?
I'm currently in Perth from
sweet.
my village apartment. So
Oh, fantastic.
yeah.
I don't know how it is for you, but like it is an absolute scorcher over here today. It's about 35
Oh
degrees.
yeah. Oh gosh. When I first stepped out of the airport, I got back to Perth last week for another year at WAAPA. And
Oh, wow.
as soon as I stepped out from the airport, I was just blown away by the dry heat. It was,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, usually I have like the long sleeves and the black shirt and all that kind of stuff, but I had to trade it in because I was like, no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna I'll bake in this office if I even try and do that.
Yeah.
But either way, it's awesome for you to it's great for you to be here. You said you just got back from Perth recently, you said.
Yeah, so I'm actually originally from Brisbane.
Yes, right.
And I got into WAAPA after high school. So
My goodness, wow.
I didn't know anyone in WA, and I moved across the country by myself.
Oh.
And I've been studying at WAAPA and following my dreams and doing music over here. So yeah,
that's
it's been
exciting.
great.
That's so cool. So how long is the study tenure over there?
So I did the advanced music artist course last
Right.
year, which is usually a second year course, but WAAPA was really nice and let me join the group. And then I'm going into the bachelor, so that's another 3 years.
Wow,
So
awesome. You're going to be very, very proficient in music when you leave.
yeah, oh, it's exciting. There's a new city campus as well, so
Mhm.
all these amazing new facilities in Yagan. So it'll be
Oh,
great.
wow. That's so fantastic.
Yeah.
How was obviously growing up in Brisbane? That would have been quite fun and obviously so much different from Perth. Like what sort of, I guess,
Yeah.
like the main things you've sort of learned from obviously growing up over there to now kind of being based over in Perth?
Yeah. Well, I was really lucky growing up. My parents were really supportive and got me to do lots of music and extracurriculars during high school. So I think what really struck me was that I was just so lucky to be involved in so many different music groups in Brisbane, and that sort of influenced what's happened in Perth since moving over here. I got to do like a really cool tertiary prep course called Young Con, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
for the Brisbane Conservatorium of Music. And I learned like a lot more about songwriting and myself as an artist through that. And
Wow.
that's also helped with the move over here too. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That's so fascinating. No, that's wonderful to see. And like, obviously, you've just released your first single as well, which is just,
Yeah.
fantastic to see, Just Fine. And like, I mean, I gave it a listen and it's an awesome song, like really cool and like indie and like real
Thanks.
poppy and stuff. Gives me mad,
Yeah.
like, have you heard of the artist called Heaven She?
No, I haven't. I'll check them
Oh,
out. Yeah.
yeah, no, she's absolutely brilliant. But no, that's like this song reminds me so much of the stuff that she also puts out as well, which is like right down my alley. I used to be in an indie band
Wow.
for like 10 years. So
Oh,
like
nice.
so excuse like the heavy metal get up, but yes, I am. I've
One of
got
us.
yeah.
One of us.
I've got the appreciation of the indiness and the pop and that scene in deep in
Oh,
my
yeah.
heart. But no, it's such a great song, and like it must have been really fun for you to kind of write it and create it. What was your sort of thoughts of wanting to sort of like write your first song and really start to like put yourself forward as a singer-songwriter?
Yeah. Well, I always really loved music and getting involved with that growing up. And I just started getting the ideas of, oh, what if I wrote my own music? I
Mm,
loved harmonizing and things. And in high school, like as part of our assignments in music class, we had to write
mm,
music. So I was kind of forced into doing it anyway.
yeah.
And I just fell in love with it. I downloaded Logic and all that. I got like the Apple Music, like the creative package for students.
Oh, nice,
So I
cool.
got like all this software for like really like cheap, thank God.
Mm,
And I just used the recording studio at my school. I'd have like these spare classes in my timetable, and I
Hmm.
just sneak up into the recording studio at my school and write away and write some music. And yeah, that's kind of where I started writing this song, actually. So
That's brilliant.
yeah,
I always love like, I mean, even I went to university for a little bit, and like when you are able
yeah,
to get so many of the tools just to create things for free, it is just like such a godsend. I remember when I got like
it is.
Premiere Pro for like 2 or 3 years, was just with my like my university login, and I could just pay
Oh,
like student prices or whatever it was, so it was
so
cheap as
good.
anything. And oh man, that was like the time where you could just learn all of the software, learn all that kind of stuff. And then like, obviously after a while when you leave and you have to start paying like the full price for everything, and you're just like, oh shit, damn, this sucks. But then like, hopefully by then you've gotten all like the basics over and you've got like a good idea of how it all runs so that if you are using it, you're kind of like, oh, I'm not learning too much. I'm kind of just like, carrying on from what I've learned already. But no,
Yeah,
that's really fantastic that you're able to utilize all that stuff and actually try and like, do that yourself. Have you played a lot of
yeah.
like live music and that sort of stuff as well? Or have you mainly just kind of been like sort of songwriting and stuff in the background?
Yeah, well, in Brisbane, I was gigging quite a bit. I
Awesome.
played at the Wynnum Fringe Festival, and I
Oh,
got like, I did luckily win some awards from that, which helped. I won some like free recording studio time and
oh,
things
sweet.
through that. So that was really cool. I played outside the GABBA as well one year for like
Oh, what?
this
No way.
person. There was this guy who went to a high school. Like there
Mm,
was an all boys high school to the sister school. I don't know.
yeah. Okay.
And he
Yep.
was an AFL player for the Brisbane Lions, and I was in
Oh,
a high
gee
school
whiz.
rock band. So I got to play outside the GABBA to like a couple thousand people in year
Oh,
nine.
oh,
So I was singing
wow.
singing
Gee whiz.
ACDC Long Way to the Top, and I was
All the classics.
getting the crowd up, and yeah, it was really fun. It was really
Oh
fun.
wow, that's so brilliant, especially for like being in year nine and being like exposed to that many people at like that age. Like,
Oh,
wow, that would have just been absolute magic.
I was a stick with braces, but I was having the best time of my life. Yeah, it's
Oh,
great.
that's fantastic. We did like, I mean, I think like, yeah, what was it, God, even in year 12 when I first started doing music, the most people we played to was like in an assembly that we did in school. And I think there was like,
Oh yeah,
you play these schools like 500 kids and like the teachers and stuff just like rooming. And I think we played,
terrifying.
I know, it's like the worst thing in the world, especially when you play and you're playing like a Coldplay song and you're just like, oh shit, man, like, are we not cool anymore?
Oh
Like,
gosh. Oh, you
it
can't go
is
wrong
so.
with Coldplay. They just
No,
sold out like Optus for 2 nights in a row. Like it
yeah,
was such a
exactly.
struggle to get a ticket for that.
Oh, it's wonderful, actually. I will say to see so much going on around Perth and so many things happening around there. Obviously, the WWE also is going there, top to stadium,
Yeah,
literally in a couple of weeks, actually, which is also pretty cool. And then obviously Coldplay as well, like selling that out. Like it's so cool that that's become like it's like the second big tier stadium next to the MCG, but it's getting like all the international acts coming down, actually wanting to play, like, the
yeah.
arena or like, performing in the arena, which is insane.
Yeah, Optus is such an incredible venue, and the opening acts as well, Thelma Plum and King Ibis. They
Mm.
were so excellent on the night that I went.
Yeah, right.
And King Ibis is from WAAPA as well. Actually, I
Oh
think
wow,
they did
really?
the contemporary music course, so they're
Oh
doing
wow.
really well. It's really great to see them out in the music scene. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Nah, it's cool and you get to see someone and like a lot of people that obviously you've studied with or that go to the same school, whatever, actually do like quite well for themselves. It's the same with like the band scene and that sort of stuff.
yeah.
Have you like when you did play a lot of live stuff, did you play sort of in like the Perth scene itself, like playing gigs at like your pubs and that sort of stuff as well? Like did you do some of that?
Yeah, well, I didn't get to do too much last year because I was still settling into Perth a bit and
Yeah,
working on this
surely.
song.
Of course.
But I did get to play Rosemount last year
Oh
with
right,
my
okay.
as part of my course, and I got to play on telethon as well, which
Right, gee
was
whiz.
such an amazing experience. Yeah,
Oh wow, yeah. That's like,
yeah,
yeah, man,
yeah.
you've gone around. You've gone around the sea. That's so wonderful to see. Like, my goodness, like it's so good to, and even like, performing that sort of stuff, being in front of people. Like, I feel like you might be at a stage right now where you must feel really comfortable and confident being in front of a lot of people and singing and performing.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who I'm performing in front of.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not afraid of larger crowds. But I feel like I always just want to deliver a really great performance and really connect with the audience. So I do feel pressure with that. And
Yeah.
also, if you perform in front of like your family, I find that a lot more pressuring and well meaningful
Yeah.
and well not yeah. It's just more expectation. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
mom, I don't
Yeah.
want a voice crack in front of me.
Yeah, yeah, it's like, you want to perform well for your family and your friends and all that kind of stuff. When it's random
Yeah,
strangers, it's kind of like, I don't know you guys. It's like we've got no affiliation at all.
yeah,
So like if I suck,
yeah,
it doesn't matter. If I'm really good, then that's like cool. You can come and like, listen to my tunes.
yeah,
But besides that,
yeah.
no massive thing.
I met Dami Im last year, or end of the year before, and she mentioned she went to the con and she was on X Factor and Eurovision. She's done really well,
Oh,
and she's
right,
such an
shit.
amazing artist.
Wow.
Um, and I was chatting to her about like, well, this question of when you perform in front of people, how do you feel? And
Mm.
she said that she'd travel hours and hours to perform in front of like close family and friends, and that was really meaningful and really impacted her.
Yeah, wow.
But then like stadiums was a very different, and like larger crowds was a very different experience. So
Mm.
it's just really interesting to see the impact that
Yeah.
that has on a performer and on a concert as well. Yeah.
Yeah, especially one that obviously wants to like, keep on performing, keep on playing shows for like, in the near future and that sort of thing. It's really great
Yeah.
knowledge to kind of have. I mean, I got back on stage literally the other day for the first time in like a year. And even that was just
Wow.
like, yeah, I was in London for 10 months and didn't like grass a stage for like almost a year.
Oh,
But then like,
yeah.
yeah, when you're even if it's and like there was like a few friends in there was a few people I didn't know and whatever, but then like
Yeah.
even yeah, it's kind of being back in that spot and being like, oh yeah, like this is sort of what it's like, that like remembering that feel of how it is to be on stage. And then I realized I was closing my eyes a lot, and
Oh, yeah.
it's not just because the lights were like right in my face, but
Yes.
it's one of those things, like literally there was
Feeling
like
the music.
I know they're
Feeling the
like
music.
the lights right in the eyes, so I could see like silhouettes. I couldn't actually see any people's faces,
Yeah.
and then the
Yeah.
sound was just like so thick that I couldn't hear my own voice. So I was just like, it
Oh,
was one of those gigs. It still went really well, but it was just like,
yeah.
yeah, this is going to be a bit like up and down. Have you sort of had any experiences like that?
Well, everyone's had their fair share of technical difficulties at one stage, like, um, but I mean, the sound guys are doing the best that they can,
Oh, of
and
course, always.
they always do their best. Well,
Mm.
normally. um, but yeah, I don't know. I think I've had experiences of like a mic cutting out, and
Mm.
honestly, I think the story that terrifies me the most, and it wasn't a technical failure
Mm.
on anyone's part but my own.
Right.
And it was just I was doing like a rock symphony concert for
Right.
like high school and parents and kids. There's maybe like 1,000 like families and friends in the audience,
Oh my
and all my
goodness.
friends are in the orchestra pit because I play violin as well.
Wow.
So I
Okay.
jumped from there on stage, and I was singing like Counting Stars or something with a duet with someone. And as I went to go, everything that I like just really like voice cracked. I was like, and
Yeah.
all my friends are
Oh.
laughing at me from the like,
Oh,
and
damn.
it haunted me for a little bit, but you kind of just learn to let that stuff go, and
You do.
you just focus on the next moment, and yeah, that comes with practice, but it's
Mm.
a really good thing to have.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I do like heavy metal screaming, so that voice is always going to be cracking and
Yes.
like pitching differently
Wow.
and all that sort of stuff. So it's a really big thing to get over once you're sort of out there, because I'll be like, man, that sounded terrible. But then it's like,
I've
actually,
always
no, it doesn't
wondered,
sound too bad.
how do you guys scream like long term, like for shows after shows, like
Mm.
with trying to minimize like vocal like load and that sort of thing?
It's like it's really something that comes over like time and to practice with it, because it's
Oh, yeah.
essentially it's like it depends what one you do, because you've got like the really kind of the false chord, like the that sort of stuff, and then
Yeah.
you've got like the gritty, like yo yeah 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 yeah, that sort of one. So it kind of
Yeah.
depends, but then like obviously you use lots of breath pressure and like bit of diaphragm
Yeah.
and that sort of stuff, and then you sort of like
Mm,
you fiddle around. This might be the same as singing as well. You fiddle around with like the placement
mm,
of where you want it to come out. So most times for
yeah.
me, I try and aim it for like just above the top of like hair, like the top two of my teeth. So when I'm screaming,
Cool.
it's like coming out. So it's coming out through the roof of my mouth rather than coming like straight and using like a bit more of the throat.
Yeah.
So I try and usually go about that sort of spot. But the hardest part with that is like, because my streams, they can be quite loud from time to time. Sometimes they're not too loud. Sometimes they can be quite quiet.
Hmm.
But when you're in a live
Yeah.
sense and you can't hear yourself, that's the hardest part because then you want to push and make it louder. But then if you
Yeah.
don't have the range, that's when you start to like, get a bit like throaty and that starts to like cut
Yeah.
out and all the rest of it. So the last show I played, I had my finger in my ear, like for most of the time, pushing my
Yeah.
earplugs in so I could hear what I was actually doing. I'm like, oh no, I'm actually doing okay. It's just I just can't hear what I'm doing. So,
Oh my gosh.
but yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's such a fun thing to learn, but it just
Yeah.
takes so much time. It's like the best thing I was taught. It's almost like I can't remember who it was. It was on like a DVD I watched years back. But it's like, you
Yeah.
can't like scream on stage the same way that you'd like, scream at your cat or scream at your parents or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like a completely different technique, like altogether. But then like there's little like, there was like you could do like a Marge Simpson sound, like a or like
Oh.
the guy from The Shining, like red rot, like that sort of thing. And that's like a good practice to sort of get you like the idea of it through. So if you ever want to throw that
Cool.
in to one of the one of the
Yeah.
tracks, yeah, just start like practicing those little bits and pieces and like, yeah, who knows? Yeah, literally. You get it in no time. I'd love to actually go on from this. Because obviously, like, we'll go back to your single now, obviously. Just fine. How did you feel with the transition from going to obviously, when you do your vocals live to then being in like a
Hmm.
recording studio and recording them instead of doing it in a live sense? How did you
Yeah.
find that sort of transition?
Yeah. It's definitely a different experience. Because when you're in a live setting, the audience is there and you're connecting with the audience right in front of you, and it's very obvious to see who you're connecting to.
Mm.
But when you're in the studio, you're like in a little booth, and you're very much like sort of blocked off from everyone, and all your bandmates are back there watching you
Yeah.
sing, and you just have to really imagine and get into the story of what the song is about, and really get out, like, envision in your head who you want to deliver it to.
Mm.
Because I'm worried. Well, I'm worried. I don't think I've really had an issue with this yet, but
Mm.
just remembering that meaning and having that in the recording, because you can hear such a difference when you have that emotion and that storytelling.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Especially because like,
yeah,
when you record it, like, most times you'll do like a take and then you'll stop
yeah,
and then you'll get ready again, you'll do another
yeah,
take. So it's like
yeah,
almost cutting in and out of like the movement and of the mood, I suppose, that you're setting. Well, obviously in a live sense, you just do
yeah,
the entire thing all in one. So it's quite, yeah, I've
yeah,
also found that it can be quite fun to sort of, and even like quite challenging to stay in that same kind of mindset, in that
mm,
same mode to get across like the
yeah,
best like recording that you possibly can. But I mean,
yeah,
it must have been awesome for you to do it. And obviously the song came out like,
yeah,
absolutely wonderful. Did you have a lot of really a lot of fun recording it with like, did you have like your band behind you and all the rest
yeah.
of it and like a really great sound engineer?
Yeah, so it was very much like a WAAPA project. So
Mm.
all my classmates played, or not all my classmates, we were sorted into ensembles. So my
Mm.
friends were playing electric guitar and drums and bass,
Oh, sweet.
um, and my classmate Charlie is a producer for some of my friends, and
Mm.
he works for a small local label who
Yeah,
are
right.
doing really well.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
he's friends with my classmate Raymond, who was a runner-up on the Triple J Unearthed competition, and
Oh my
he's got some
goodness.
great tunes out.
Yeah, wow, you've got a
So
very good circle around you. I'm saying that
yeah,
right now. It's a really good circle to be with.
it's amazing. It's such a great community to be a part of, and so I got Charlie to record my song. And then he sent it off to mastering, and he sent me some PR contacts as well to help me get my song out there. And
Fantastic.
yeah, I'm just blown away by how supportive and amazing WAAPA is. I pinch myself every day when I walk to class. There's
Really.
actors sword fighting on the lawn and ballerinas
Oh.
stretching in the hallway, and
Oh my goodness,
it's amazing.
yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to go to a
Amazing.
place like that where that's just happening right in front of you every time.
Yeah, it's very much like Fame.
Yeah.
if you've ever seen it, like people just singing and dancing everywhere, and it's amazing. Yeah, I
Sounds
love
like
it.
magic. Yeah, almost like a bit too good to be true in a way, but like quite magical in a
Yeah,
way. But so great that it's like, everyone there is there just trying to do the thing that they really want to do in life and get really good at
yeah,
it. And it's just like after a while, I guess if you put your focus on that as well, it's like, man, hell yeah, this is the place to be. That sounds awesome.
yeah, yeah. It's amazing. I love it.
And I love the fact that your song is also doing just like so very well. I think because as I said, I listened to it the other day and then I went back to it today and like the streams are just like they just exploded.
Yeah,
My goodness,
I
like
can't believe
man, it's getting
it.
around. It's getting around.
I've been getting messages from people. Like this is my first song, so I wasn't expecting anything, but
Yeah,
I'm
exactly. Debut single.
blown away by how many like how many streams and how much support people have given. And I got a text from a friend in Brisbane who walked into a restaurant and heard my song play, and
Oh my goodness, really?
I couldn't believe it. And another friend of mine sent me a screenshot today of her Spotify. It's my song has popped up on her release radar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So she was like, "Oh, you're next to Noah Khan and on my release radar." Even though it's detailed to every person, but
Even so, it's still
that
nice
was
to see.
just it was so lovely to see. It brought such a smile to my face, and I'm just overwhelmed by everyone's support. It's so amazing. Yeah.
I mean, if you get your debut single on like a radio station in Brisbane, like on the first go, that you're doing very well there.
Yeah. I have no idea what's happening. I have no idea how that song got played in that restaurant. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing.
Kudos to the
Yeah.
restaurant. Like that's awesome.
Thank you, Five Boroughs.
Yeah.
Shout out for cheap New
Best.
York cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. I could definitely go a New York cheeseburger one day, that's for sure.
Love cheeseburgers.
Yeah. There's like so many burger places that are just like everywhere now, especially in Adelaide.
Yeah.
I'm in Adelaide right now, but yeah, literally just all over the
Nice.
place. Like and
Yeah.
you just try and like you try and like go into every one or like want to try and attempt to go into every single one just to try and see like which ones are like the good ones and which ones are like, oh yeah. Because there's just so many
Yeah.
now. Like is it the same over there for you?
Perth is crazy with cheeseburger places. It's
Mm.
like my happy place. Yep.
Oh hell yeah.
Yep.
Best.
I ordered a lot of takeout last year because
Oh really?
I work hospitality.
Oh right,
So
yeah. Better know.
I'm a glassy. So this
Hey,
is
right.
like this is the job to pay the bills.
Yeah, of
So I
course.
clean bathrooms at a club.
Oh, at a club.
Oh,
Oh man.
it's a club. It's like a venue, really.
Okay.
It's like a pub, but then there's like several different like pubs and then a speakeasy bar and a restaurant all in this one.
Oh, okay.
And on a
That'd be
Saturday night and
complex.
a Friday night, it just turns into like a pretty much a club. It's huge.
Right. Gee
So I
whiz.
glassy
Yeah.
and I clean bathrooms and
Mhm.
I like help stock the bar and everyone in hospitality is possibly like the nicest people I've ever met in the whole wide
Yeah.
world. They're so fun and they're
Mm,
such characters and
mm.
the conversations that you have when you're like in a party war zone, like there's
Yeah.
like lasers and lights and DJs going and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I need to wash these glasses and sweep the floor. And but everyone that you meet, like you're just working as a team and you're looking out for each other. And sometimes we go out afterwards as well. And it's just
Yeah.
such a great community. And
Really great for
they're
bonding and
super
stuff too.
supportive.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it sounds awesome. It's really good for bonding hospitality as well. And like, it
yeah,
gets you around lots of different people and like, especially like very loud, environment, which as musicians we are both very, very fond of and,
yeah,
have the experience in. So, most of the
yeah.
times you're shouting at each other, trying to like get things going on. But no, I mean, I've been in hospitality for a lot of my life too. I mean, even overseas,
Yeah,
I worked in two bars over in London. And in London, it's like
nice.
it's so different in London. But but like
Yeah,
the hospitalityness of like the banter and the bar like staff and all the rest of it is very, very similar. You just like
yeah,
you just have great conversations about like, anything that just really goes on. And obviously like, the nights are as wild as it is. And you're just like running through the bar, just trying to like jumping over each other, trying to get to the next thing. And
yeah,
and at the end of
yeah,
it, you just like all just sit there like, oh man, yep, okay. And you're all together.
yeah.
You've gone through the
We're all
war
at
all together.
Staffies and we're all like hunched over and we're like, yeah, that was a good night. I'm keen to hit the hay.
Yeah, you asked the question. I so who's in tomorrow? And the one guy's like, yeah, me. I'm opening tomorrow. Like, poor bastard.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
But
Oh,
no,
it's terrible. Well, I had Hugh Jackman worked hospitality while he was at WAAPA.
well, there you go.
And he was apparently I heard that he would eat like table scraps off plates
I've
as
done
a
that.
waitress. A waiter.
I've done that. Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
man. Honestly,
I
it's
mean,
like
there's a lot of wasted food.
I
You
know.
may as well.
There's so much,
May as
especially
well.
like overseas, like especially if your shifts are like real long shifts too. Because I just get hungry, like you get hungry and you want to eat food,
Yeah.
and then someone just leaves like a whole thing of fries on their plate after eating like a half of their burger. You just fucking off we go.
Yeah.
You take a few
Yeah.
and whatever. I think I did that in the airport too. I don't know. I'm a bit of a scavenger, to be honest with you. That's like, but no,
You gotta do what you gotta do.
exactly. As musicians, working hospitality is like, it's a good way to sort of get yourself started and to like, build that bank
Yeah.
so you can throw some money at the music
It
and that kind of
is.
stuff, which is awesome. So like, we've both been
It
there, and there's
is.
plenty of people, I suppose, that have also been in the exact same shoes. But even so, it's been so great to like, talk to you about this single and all the rest of it. I'd love to know like
Yeah.
what your like who your sort of influences are that you sort of I
Mm.
guess like kind of embodied to try and like write this song and to put it out.
Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of Foo Fighters,
Hey.
and I listened to a bit of Spacey Jane as well in Year 12,
Mhm.
and a little bit of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But those were like the main influences that you can hear like coming out in the song. I
Mhm.
was very obsessed with Foo Fighters. Like seeing them in Brisbane just blew my mind.
Oh, that would have
And I
been
heard
awesome
Jack Black
actually.
went to the New Zealand show, and I was like, oh,
Damn.
I missed
Well,
you.
they're coming here, but like Tenacious D are coming to Australia, I think, like middle of
Yes.
the year or something. I
It's
think it
like
was.
the meatball. It's like the
Yeah.
Indiana Jones like meatball poster.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Jack
That
Black
was
is like
like,
running.
yeah, that's
That
right.
was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be sweet. I don't know when the
Yeah.
last time they actually came here was, but I have no doubt that they'll be selling out some shows for damn sure, like after doing all of that.
Yeah.
But no, that's
Oh,
awesome.
for
Foo Fighters
sure.
especially. Like Foo Fighters are a
Yeah. I
great
love Foo Fighters. And they've got such a diverse like catalogue of music. Like it's not just one sort of style in each song.
Yeah.
And I was also listening to a bit of Paramore, which you can
Yeah,
hear a bit
beautiful.
in this song.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just such a great, like, fun, lively mix of genres. And I just really wanted to write something like hopeful and uplifting. I was in Year 12, so I was a bit unsure on what the future would hold, and I was
Yeah.
going through all my external exams, and just like I had no idea what was happening. So I just wanted to reassure myself that it would all be okay. And I ended up just writing a song, and realized that I could really try and reassure anyone who was going through some uncertainty that it would all be all right, that it would all work out in the end. So
Of course, no,
yeah,
that's a really great way to go about it, especially because like, going from year 12 into, you're stepping out of the school world into like, I guess the real world or like, the world
yeah,
that we're all sort of in or whatever. And like, that's a big transition because, you've got
yeah,
friends that you might be either leaving behind or people that you might not see as much or
yeah,
even people you might see heaps more, who knows, but it
yeah,
does like throw in a lot of uncertainty, and then there's even more as you start to like come to grips with what's in front of you like without like the schooling and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I can definitely see that coming across, and I think there's plenty of people that can like really relate to that and really enjoy it. And I will also ask you,
yeah.
did you see Paramore when they came over to Australia?
I didn't.
Ah.
I saw Coldplay and Foo Fighters within a month of each other.
Oh, that's like
So
still very good.
my
That's
bank was hurting. And
yeah.
I couldn't see Paramore.
Yeah.
I missed out on the ticket, and I had no money. So
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
I'll catch them next time.
Yeah, surely. I mean, if I had the money, I'd be going to Perth to see Elimination Chamber, but I don't have that either. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's like one of those things where it's like if it was in Melbourne, it would have been okay because I do have like, I guess like people over there that I might be able to stay with, and it's not too far to go.
Yeah.
But from Perth to Adelaide, it's just like so far, and I don't know anybody in Perth,
Yeah.
and then it's like I have to buy the ticket as
Yeah.
well. And so it's just like, I mean, it can obviously be done, but like it's a lot
Yeah.
that needs to be sort of put
It's a
forward
trek.
to do it. Yeah,
And I
exactly.
mean, Perth is apparently closer to Bali than Adelaide. Like,
Yeah.
that blows
Wow.
my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I was literally before we started this, because I obviously through doing this podcast, I have to deal with a lot of time zones. The
Yeah.
one of the most recent ones I had was in Prague. So when I was in London,
Wow.
it was easy to talk to someone in Prague because it's like, 2 hours, it was like a 2 hour time difference. But over here, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, we can only do this at nighttime, my time, because I can't, otherwise it's like 3 o'clock in
Wow.
the morning for you. But then like,
Yeah.
I can talk to, if I was in London and I wanted to talk
Mhm.
to one of my Russian friends in Moscow, that is that's a 3 hour time difference, as in they're 3 hours
Yeah.
ahead of people in London. And then like here, from Adelaide to Perth, we're 3 hours ahead of you and we're in the same country.
Mm.
Like, that's
Yeah.
insane.
Oh, that's crazy.
I
Australia's
know.
massive. And
Mm.
on the plane ride over, like I flew over the Flinders Desert and I was like,
Oh
wow,
wow.
this is an adventure and a half. But
Yeah.
you could just see like just the amount of landscape and different like the deserts and then the
Mm.
bush and like seeing all the farmland. It looks like a blanket quilt. Like it's just incredible from the plane. And,
Yeah. Exactly.
I felt like a real adventurer. I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
100%. And so many people just underestimate how big Australia is compared to other places. Like, it's massive. I mean, so much of it is like,
It's massive.
people can't really live
Yeah.
in a lot of the places because, it's like desert. But like,
Yeah.
as well as that, it's massive. It's just bloody huge, these
Yeah.
places. But
Crazy.
even so, this has been such an awesome
Yeah.
chat, Lucinda. Thank you so much for obviously joining me today.
Thanks
To
for
my
having me
listeners,
on.
no worries. To my listeners, please do listen to Lucinda's new single, Just Fine. Give it more streams than it already has, because this is going to keep climbing up that ladder. There's no doubt about it. And yes, thank you for joining me. I wish you all the best in the rest of your music journey, and I'm sure I will see you around somewhere.
Thanks so much for having me on. It was great talking to you today.
Thank you so much for tuning into the episode this week. I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Lucinda and myself. Go check out her music and chuck her a follow on the socials to keep up to date with everything that she's got going on. There are links in the description of this episode where you can find it all. As for myself, follow me on Instagram or YouTube at This Is Chasm, where you can find reels from this podcast and even some extended clips. And finally, please leave a rating and or review for the show wherever you listen to your podcasts. And I'll see you next week for a new episode with a new guest here on Chasm Converses.